video, we're going to talk about when to ask for help and when not to. That second part may sound surprising. You might be thinking, shouldn't I ask for help whenever I am confused? And the answer is, asking for help is a good thing. But the most useful help usually happens when you've done enough thinking to know where you were stuck. In a math class, help is not just about getting an answer. Good help should help you understand the problem, learn a strategy, and become more confident solving similar problems in the future. Let's start with an important idea. Asking for help is not a sign that you are failing. Successful students ask questions. Successful students use tutoring. Successful students go to office hours. Successful students talk to classmates. Successful students contact their instructor when something is unclear. Getting help means you are taking learning seriously. Many students wait too long because they think they should be able to figure everything out alone. They may feel embarrassed. They may worry that their question is too basic. They may think everyone else understands. They may not want to bother the instructor. They may hope the confusion will go away by itself. But in math, confusion can build. A topic from this week may be needed again next week. If you do not understand solving equations, graphing equations may become harder. If fractions are confusing, then proportions, formula, and algebra may also become harder. Asking for help early can prevent a small confusion from becoming a much larger problem. So, when should you ask for help? One good time to ask is when you have tried a problem and get stuck at the same step more than once. For example, maybe you know how to start an equation, but you always get stuck when there are variables on both sides. That's a great time to ask. You can say, I understand how to combine like terms, but I get stuck when the variable appears on both sides. Can you help me with that step? That question is specific and useful. Another good time to ask for help is when your homework mistakes show a pattern. If you miss one problem because of a small arithmetic error, you may be able to correct it yourself. But if you keep missing the same kind of problem, that pattern is telling you something. Maybe you keep losing negative signs. Maybe word problems are difficult to set up. Maybe you are using the wrong formula. Maybe you understand examples but cannot start problems on your own. Repeated mistakes are a sign that help could be useful. Another time to ask for help is when you do not understand feedback. If your instructor writes, show work, wrong formula, use original amount, or check sign, and you are not sure what that means, ask. Feedback is only helpful if you understand it. You might say, I see that I lost points here, but I'm not sure what I should do differently next time. Could you explain the comment? That is a strong question. You should also ask for help before exams, not only after them. If you are studying and notice that a topic is confusing, try to get help while there is still time to practice. Do not wait until the night before the exam if you can avoid it. A good question before an exam might be, I made a list of topics for the test, and these two are the ones I feel least confident about. Which should I practice first? Or, I tried this review problem and I do not know where to begin. Can you help me identify the first step? You can also ask for help when you are unsure how to study. Not all math struggles are about one specific problem. Some students understand class examples but do not know how to prepare for exams. You can ask, what is the best way to study for this type of test? Which homework problems would be a good review? How should I practice if I understand the notes but get stuck on quizzes? These are useful questions. Now, let's talk about when not to ask for help immediately. This does not mean you should avoid help. It means that sometimes trying something first makes that help more effective. If you open a homework problem and immediately ask, "How do I do this?" before reading it carefully, you may miss the chance to practice identifying the problem. Before asking, try a short first step routine. Read the problem completely. Only after you've read the problem completely should you start trying to underline what it is asking. Read the problem once, and then go back through and start underlining what the problem is wanting you to do. After that, write down what you know, either what the problem is telling you or things that you know from class. Identify the topic. Maybe you're looking at solving equations or factoring. Look for a similar example. Maybe one that has already been solved that you can use as a reference. Try to do one step of the problem. If you still do not know what to do, then ask for help. Now your question can be more specific. Instead of saying, "I do not get this," you can say, "I read the problem and wrote down the information, but I do not know whether to use a proportion or an equation." That is much easier for someone to help with. Another time not to ask for immediate help is when you are using help to avoid struggle. Some struggle is part of learning math. When you try a problem independently, your brain is practicing how to make decisions. But if someone shows you every step too soon, the problem may feel clear in the moment, but you may not be ready to do a similar one alone later. A little productive struggle is helpful. Productive struggle means you are thinking, trying strategies, and making progress, even if slowly. Unproductive struggle is different. Unproductive struggle means you are stuck for a long time, repeating the same unsuccessful step, becoming frustrated, and not learning. You do not need to stay in unproductive struggle. A good rule in general is try seriously. Identify where you were stuck, then ask. Let's talk about the difference between getting help and having someone do the work for you. Good help might sound like, "Can you help me understand why this step works? Can you watch me try this and tell me where I go wrong? Can we do a similar example together? Can you explain how to recognize this type of problem? Can you help me check whether my setup is correct?" Less helpful questions might sound like, "What is the answer? Can you just show me all the steps? Can you do this problem for me? Can I copy your homework?" The goal is to learn the skill, not just finish the assignment. This matters because homework is practice for quizzes and exams. If someone else does the thinking for you during homework, you may feel finished, but you may not be prepared when you have to solve problems independently. When you go to tutoring or office hours, bring something with you. Bring your notes, your homework, your attempted work, your calculator, your syllabus, or your list of questions. You do not need everything to be perfect. It is okay if your work is messy. It is okay if you are confused. But it helps to show what you tried. For example, you might say, "Here's where I started. This is the step where I got stuck. I think I used the wrong formula. I got a different answer than the back of the book. I do not understand why this step is allowed." These details help the tutor or the instructor respond to your actual need. If you are meeting online, you can still prepare. Have the problem ready. Take a picture or a screenshot if possible. Write down your questions before the meeting. Be ready to share your work or explain what you tried. If you are emailing your instructor, be specific and respectful. A helpful email might say, "Hello, Professor. I'm working on the homework for section 3.2. I tried problem 14, but I get stuck after distributing. I attached or copied my work below. Could you help me understand what I should do next?" This is much better than, "I do not understand the homework." The first message gives the instructor a place to begin. The second message is honest, but it is so broad that the instructor may not know what kind of help you need. Classmates can also be helpful. Studying with classmates can allow you to compare strategies, explain ideas, and ask quick questions. But make sure the collaboration is focused on learning. A good study group might take turns explaining problems, compare different methods, ask each other why steps work, create practice problems, and review mistakes together. A less helpful group might simply divide the homework, copy answers, or rush through problems without understanding. Choose collaboration that helps you learn. Now, let's talk about signs that you should definitely ask for help soon. Ask for help if you've missed several assignments, if you are avoiding the course because it feels overwhelming, if you do not understand a topic that keeps appearing, if you are preparing for an exam and cannot solve practice problems independently, if your quiz or homework feedback shows repeated mistakes, if you do not understand the course expectations, if you are spending hours on assignments without making progress, or if you think about giving up. These are not signs that you should hide. They are signs that you deserve support. If you're not sure where to start, contact your instructor, your tutoring center, advisor, or a campus support person. You can say, "I'm not sure what kind of help I need, but I know I'm falling behind. Can you help me figure out the next step?" That is a valid question. You do not need to arrive with a perfect explanation. Sometimes asking for help starts with saying, "I need help figuring out what help I need." Here is a simple help-seeking routine. First, try the problem. Second, mark where you got stuck. Third, look for a similar example. Fourth, write one specific question that you have. Fifth, ask your question. You can ask your instructor, your tutor, your classmate, your support center. Sixth, after getting help, try a similar problem on your own. That last step is important. After someone explains a problem, do not stop there. Try another one independently. That is how you check whether the help turned into learning. Here's your action step. Choose one current math question, homework problem, or course issue. Here's your action step. Choose one current math question, homework problem, or course issue. Write a help request using this structure. I am working on. I tried. I got stuck when. My question is. For example, I am working on solving equations with fractions. I tried clearing the denominators, but I got stuck when one side had two terms. My question is, how do I know what to multiply each term by? Then take that question to someone who can help. Asking for help is a strength, but the best help usually comes when you are ready to participate. Try first. Notice where you are stuck. Ask a specific question, then practice again. You do not have to struggle alone, and you do not have to wait until you are completely lost. There are people who want to help you succeed. Reaching out early can save time, reduce stress, and help you build confidence. You've got this.